Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on-point and no hype reviews. We are back yet again, everybody. We are back with another fragrance review today. And this review right here that I'm about to do, guys, this is the literal meaning of a no hype review, guys, okay? Because this fragrance right here has garnered so much hype, mystery, and interest over the years that now that it has been re-released for you guys, now that it's 2022, it's been re-released, everyone can buy it. I cannot wait to give you guys my no hype feedback about this. Trust me guys, everything will be discussed. There will be no stone left unturned on this review right here. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, especially now that we are nearing 13,000 subscribers and of course beyond. So if you haven't done so, guys, it's just a couple clicks. You will be notified regarding all these videos that I make. So please continue to support the channel by liking and subscribing. And the fragrance that we will be talking about today is none other than the legendary Bond No. 9's New Harlem. Yes, Bond No. 9's New Harlem, the 2022 re-release of this legendary fragrance right here. And this decant, I was able to get it from my friend Jared Miller, guys, okay? So Jared, I believe, still has some slots on his decant list for this fragrance. And so if you want to get this fragrance in an inexpensive manner and try it, please hit Jared with the link I will provide below. Now, this fragrance, Bond New Harlem, released back in 2003, guys, okay? This fragrance was made by the famed perfumer Maurice Rossel. And this guy right here, Maurice Rossel, he's actually got a new Frederic Malle that I'm trying to cop a decant from as well. But Maurice Rossel was the one that made Bond No. 9 New Harlem. I don't know exactly when this fragrance got discontinued, but I know that when the channel started, it was already discontinued. Like 2020, it was already kind of gone. And really the only thing left were some few remaining bottles with this ambery juice that were selling for really high price points on eBay. So, you know, I waited, and, you know, obviously now that we have, you know, inflation and high gas prices and the economy is kind of doing bad, I think that this is really the time where some of these perfume companies will really re-release some of the big guns that, you know, maybe they were keeping, you know, tucked away for a minute. I would not be surprised if companies like By Kilian re-released like Straight to Heaven Extreme or whatever vaulted gems that they have. I know that Roja already re-released Manhattan, and I did review that. I thought that that was just going to be a one-of very limited release, but obviously they're putting that out as well. I think that it just makes sense for most of these brands, these companies, to really bring out the gems from the vault, because it's really good business anyways. It will drive extra business during these trying times, and of course it will put them back into the conversation of perfumes. But I'm really glad it's out. Let's go talk about the concept real quickly. Now, Bond No. 9, the perfume company, is based in New York. So aside from their Dubai line, majority of their fragrances are referenced by different neighborhoods or street names or boroughs or cities within New York, obviously. Now, what I like about New Harlem is that the concept delves deeper than just a neighborhood or a street name. Right here, guys, with Bond No. 9 New Harlem, this concept of this fragrance is based on the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s to 1930s, guys. Now, obviously, I didn't live during that period, but just looking at different pictures of the Harlem Renaissance, I mean, this definitely was an explosion of culture, whether it was for music or fashion or art. I mean, this was really when Harlem was popping. The neighborhood really had a lot of recognition. A lot of people were coming in droves to Harlem to enjoy the music at the Apollo Theater or the Cotton Club, and people really dressed up for the occasion, guys. So this fragrance right here is about the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s to the 1930s. What a great concept on this fragrance right here. Now, of course, on this review, I will talk about the possible correlation between the scent itself as well as the concept, the cultural reference. But of course, I'm also here to address a lot of the hype, guys, okay? I mean, when you hear about Bond Number 9's New Harlem, all you hear about is that maple syrup smell. Okay, a lot of people are saying maple syrup or maple syrup and pancakes, or coffee and pancakes, a breakfast, if you will. A lot of people really do bring up that reference. So I will talk about that. I will bring that up eventually, guys. And, you know, I'm going to really correlate it to what I found. But before all that, guys, I think we should spray this thing right now. Ooh. Okay guys, now that we've sprayed this fragrance, let's go talk about the 2022 re-release, the return of Bond Number 9's New Harlem, shall we? Now, before everything, let me tell you guys that when I was testing this fragrance, almost instantaneously, people around me complimented me on this scent. And they weren't really near, some were even pretty far from me, but they could smell that initial appeal of Bond Number 9's New Harlem. Now, let me tell you that although this fragrance is mostly known for that maple syrup type smell, that's not exactly what you're gonna get in the beginning. And this beginning right here is my favorite part, actually, more than the maple syrup part. Let's look into the opening notes, shall we? Now, right here in the opening, you are going to get lavender, bergamot, and green notes, guys. But honestly, it's really lavender, bergamot, green notes, and coffee. Okay, that's really what you're gonna get in the initial opening of Bond Number 9's New Harlem. Now let's go talk about the coffee first, because the coffee to me is really the star of the show right here, guys. Okay, now the coffee is going to be a coffee note that is mainly mixed with the green note, and this right here really reminded me of By Killian's Intoxicated, guys. If you watch that video that I did way back, I talked about how I was so surprised that Turkish coffee, for example, was often served with cardamom, that it actually goes with cardamom. And so when it came to By Killian's Intoxicated, the fragrance had coffee and cardamom really binded together, guys. And really right here in Bond Number 9's New Harlem, the coffee is really the same way. It's like a roasted coffee mixed with this green note. And I know it's not cardamom, but it has a very, very similar feel. So for a lot of people, in my opinion, that expect a real like coffee, a sweet coffee, milky type of coffee right in the intro, you're really not gonna get that, guys, because it will be mixed with a green note, much like Turkish coffee and cardamom go together. But that's not the only thing that really blew me away here. What blew me away was the combination of that green coffee combo to lavender and bergamot, guys. Okay, lavender and bergamot. And lavender, this is a very well established, you know, note, an aromatic note that it's almost on every man cologne. You know, once you smell lavender, it's got that manly appeal, that uplifting, aromatic, manly appeal. And then there is also some bergamot, which, as you guys know, bergamot for me really denotes something very, very classy. It's like a classy citrus note. And then the thing that makes it so amazing is that the green note combined with the coffee is what smoothly brings it in as kind of like the base of this opening right here. So you've got uplifting aromatic lavender with bergamot, real classy, real man cologne like, and then that smooth green cardamom like, or maybe it's cardamom, or they say it's green leaves, but you've got that green and coffee combo come in very, very smoothly into the mix. That I think, I mean, if you really do appreciate perfumery and you like impact intros, man, this will definitely have an impact on you. That very smooth green coffee note is just amazing as well, guys. And this harkens back to maybe the Harlem Nights, right? Because, you know, back then during the Harlem Renaissance, you had to really dress up for the occasion. You can't just, you know, show up at the Apollo Theater or the Cotton Club just wearing, you know, sandals, right? You really had to dress up in a suit, And I feel like this intro right here matches that perfectly. What a manly start to this fragrance. And the thing I really like about this fragrance is that it doesn't go the sweet route. And I know that nowadays, a lot of these perfumes that guys like, they're kind of sweet. This one right here, guys, I think has the perfect like compromise where it's not too sweet and it's really very masculine in the intro because you still have those aromatic facets. The coffee itself is not mixed with vanilla or any type of sweet spice. It's basically got that green note, like I said, that reminds me of the cardamom coffee combination. It is very masculine, I think, without a lot of, really moving towards super unisex, super sweet type of perfumes. Now, this beautiful opening stanza of Bond Number 9 New Harlem actually lasts an hour, guys. A full hour of this opening stanza right here. So this will not dissipate within like 15-20 minutes, guys. You have a full hour to really experience that lavender, that aromatic, lovely opening mixed with that very smooth green coffee combo. Because the coffee note is such an integral part of this fragrance, guys, it's also in the mid and it's also part of the end. I mean, you really are going to get a longer opening right here with the lavender and bergamot. Now, an hour into this fragrance, guys, when the lavender and bergamot does back up, you are going to get the appearance of cedar, and cedar does bind with that coffee note, still with a green nuance. Like I said, it's not gonna be pure coffee, and it's really gonna add a dry, woody nuance into the mid, guys. So this is a lovely mid right here, guys. Of course, at some point that lavender is gonna back up, and then now it's a woody coffee green combination right here from Bond New Harlem. And this woody coffee stage lasts up to the 4-hour mark. So again, you are going to enjoy coffee and woods for another 4 hours after that initial 1-hour impact of the lavender and bergamot. Now, on the 4th hour of experiencing Bond Number 9's New Harlem is when you guys and gals are gonna experience that maple syrup concoction that this fragrance is really known for. Now, I don't know how that happened, but basically, guys, on the note breakdown, you've got vanilla, you've got amber, you've got patchouli, as well as tonka bean in the mix, and maybe all of that mixed together really comes out with, that maple syrup type of smell. And it is syrupy. It is thick, sticky, syrupy. That's the feel right there. And it happens from the 4th hour all the way up to the 9th hour, guys. Okay, so this is why the fragrance is really known for that maple syrup smell, because this is really the longest stage right here where the base notes really appear. Now, for a lot of y'all that have tried and have experienced this fragrance in the past, even the older iteration of this fragrance, some of y'all have reported kind of like a burnt smell right here on the dry down, guys, and I definitely agree with you guys, and that's really because of the tonka bean, which has hay-like and tobacco-like properties. So right here in the dry down, you are going to experience that thick maple syrup smell with a burnt nuance right here. And of course, do not forget patchouli, which is a wonderful earthy note right here into the dry down as well. If you're a fan of patchouli, it is definitely a prominent note here in this wonderful dry down that this fragrance is really most known for. Now, looking at all the previous feedback on this fragrance, a lot of people refer to this fragrance as a gourmand, that it's some delicious gourmand fragrance, guys, and I don't think so, to be honest, guys. I mean, this fragrance, what I like about New Harlem is that it has really 3 distinct parts that, if you really consider these 3 parts, you can't really say that this is a fragrance that can be described just by one characteristic, like maple syrup, gourmand, delicious. I mean, first off, it already starts off with a non-compromising man perfume intro. I mean, that in itself is different from gourmand. And right here in the end, guys, to me, this maple syrup, this burnt maple syrup ending is really more appealing, in my opinion, towards tobacco guys, the guys that love tobacco fragrances. I think that you guys will like this fragrance a lot because of that burnt hay-like texture in addition to that sweet maple right there. So I think if you like tobacco fragrances, you're gonna like this one versus those that expect something really gourmand to happen right here. I don't think it's the same way with New Haarlem. This release, at least that I've tried, is one of the better masculine fall winter fragrances out there. And I say masculine because there's really not a lot of compromise. You know, this has masculine written all over it right from the get-go. You get that aromatic lavender, you get woods, you've got that hay-like, tobacco-like tonka bean right there with only just a little bit of that maple syrup right there. It's very, very masculine, guys. And it does give a very semi-formal to formal appeal, guys, okay? Definitely for suiting up. And that really does, you know, depict the picture of the Harlem Renaissance where you have to suit up. It's a lot of these guys coming in right here to these parties, guys. And this one really does give a very macho, masculine vibe with just a little bit of sweetness, guys. That syrupy sweetness right in the end. But that's not entirely the fragrance, guys. There are a lot of facets in this fragrance that I think spell man cologne all over it. Because of that coffee note as well as that burnt maple syrup ending, this is obviously a fall winter perfume, okay? It's warming, it's thick, syrupy, it smells great, especially if you're gonna layer up, guys. So this is definitely a fall winter perfume. And now one thing I'll say about this fragrance to me is that this is a possible signature scent, okay? I said it right there. This is a possible signature scent, and that's because of the unique facets of this fragrance. I mean, if you do pick this up as a signature scent, it's not gonna be because you wanna copy somebody else, that you want to copy somebody else's results, but basically it's because you want something unique for yourself in the fall winter season, and that's really why you would pick this up as a signature scent. I really believe this fragrance right here is signature scent worthy. Now for some of you single guys that are wondering if this fragrance New Haarlem will appeal to the ladies, I think it will, but in a way that this will actually work more for the type of guy that's kind of like a snob first in the beginning, guys, okay? Not necessarily the friendliest guy walking around the room. This is for that manly, well-suited dude that walks in the bar, maybe sits down first and has a drink, either by himself or with a friend, before he actually talks to anybody, and he lets everybody in the room soak his presence in, guys, okay? This is for the initial snob, guys, but then again, this fragrance has so much good stuff in it that it's gonna magnetize the curiosity, I think, of a lot of women around you. And again, very, very masculine, so it doesn't have these compromises, guys, okay? That's what I love about this fragrance. Again, a lot of y'all that love tobacco scents, that have used tobacco scents whenever you guys are going out at night, I think this will very much appeal to you guys with the same type of effect. It's not really like super like pancakes like everybody says, guys. It really does have a tobacco feel with it on top of that maple right here. Now let's talk about the performance of Bond No. 9's New Haarlem. Now this fragrance right here is not a beast, but it does have above average performance. Definitely an aura scent. Like I told you guys, when I wore this, people immediately complimented me. So I don't know, maybe it is strong and I don't really feel it, but for me, it is an aura scent right here. And some of y'all that have owned the older bottle have said that it's a beast. To me, this is very much, you know, it's good enough, you know. And this fragrance right here, I will say, longevity wise, again, it clocked in at 9 hours. Okay, so this is a 9-hour significant scent fragrance. Again, the first part is an hour, and then it goes until the 4th hour in terms of the mid, and then the dry down with the burnt maple lasts from 5 to 9. And 9 hours past that is where it kind of weakened to where I couldn't really smell it, or it was like here and there, and I don't count that, so I would say this is a 9-hour scent. Ultimately, in my opinion, you should try this fragrance first, guys, okay? You should try it first, unless everything that I've said so far, you know, checks out all the boxes for you guys, and that's precisely what you're looking for. It's okay to blind buy it for sure, but to me, I think that with all the hearsay about it, with the maple syrup and the pancakes and all the coffee stuff, I think that you should try it first, because this fragrance does have a really unique combination of notes that I think you should experience first before having all these prejudgments about it. And then finally, when you get it, you're like, oh, it's kind of different, guys. Okay, so I think you should try it first. But ultimately, I think that this is a great fall winter fragrance that 100% I will be rocking this fall winter season. All right, so that is it. That is my review on Bond Number 9's New Harlem, the 2022 re-release of this legendary fragrance. If you guys need a decant to test this fragrance, like I said, hit up my boy Jared. I will be linking his Facebook profile below, guys. Okay, it's definitely an inexpensive way of doing so. Hit him up, guys. I'm sure he has some left, guys. Okay, and of course, if you have an opinion on Bond Number 9's New Harlem, if you own the old bottle or if you have tried it before, let me know in the comments below what you think of this fragrance. I mean, is the old bottle, which I haven't tried, pretty much the same in description as what I just said, with the lavender facets, the burnt maple facets, the woody facets? Let me know on the comments below. I'm highly curious, and hopefully at some point I can actually do a battle between the vintage one and this one, guys. Okay, and again, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. We are nearing 13,000. Thank you so much for your support, guys, and I will be back with a bunch of other videos with these very notable perfumes. I'll see you guys next time. God bless, take care, peace.